is physical wealth. Hello, hello, hello. Today is another fun day, Monday. It is March 3rd, 2024. February is already gone. Can you believe it? Whew. It's, man, this year is already going by fast. I don't know if it's going by fast for you, but it's going by fast for me. And that's saying something. I was enjoying February. But anyway, it's time to move forward to another month. Today is Women's Month, Women's History Month. Now, I know a lot of people are already going on about, various women in history and talking about the various things that they've done. It's just remarkable how we have so many women that's unsung. A lot of people don't even know about it. And it's like, it makes a woman feel like, is there anything that I can look up to in any women? Where's all the women? Is there anybody out there that I can say inspired me to, be a better woman or be a good woman? Hey, Sean Anthony, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned, ask some questions. I know guys tune in for history, but do you tune in for Women's Month and, hear about women's history? Hey, Eric, I know I've been talking, it seems like I've been talking you up like all week, man. What's going on? It was quite a weekend experience, hasn't it been, Eric? Anyway, well, last week was, and the weekend. I was there. But anyway, I watched one of the podcasters that Eric was guest appearing on. And I see Eric also has a show that he's going to start podcasting soon. Can't wait to see what that's going to be. Eric loves entertainment. Okay, he is very entertaining. So, what you say? I know, right? And tell Nick I said, hey. But anyway. Tell him I enjoyed seeing him when he did come on anyway. But anyway, this is Women's History Month. Let's talk about women in history. A lot of people are like, man, what women? And they're scratching their head real hard trying to figure it out. It's because a lot of women don't get heard. They don't get seen. And they get the ones that do get spoken about, it's like to the point where it's like, ugh. Here we go, talking about the same person again. Hey, Eddie, I'm happy to see you. Stay tuned. So, guys, chime in. I know Eddie know a lot of historical women. So definitely chime in because this is not exactly my field of talking about, way back in history from the perspective that Eddie can do it. So y'all have to tune in on Thursday. I love to hear what he has to say for Women's History Month. Doing his Black History Month episode, or I should just say history episodes. So, because we're going to have to do a history, plain old history. But he has a new book out, and you should grab that book. That book is written with over 400 scholarly sources, and it's like the encyclopedia isn't even written with that many sources, but it's written to the point where you can understand it, even if you haven't been well educated. So, and if it's the enunciation of words, don't worry, he's got something coming up for that too. But grab that book. He has it on his Facebook page where he's showing everybody the link. Make sure you put that link here, Eddie. And you'll see it's got some beautiful pictures. It's right now in e-version book because homeschoolers really see that is the most effective way of learning and picking up new information. And it really makes it stick. He has really brilliant pictures on there. I know, Eric, I got a copy. Okay, I got my link. Yes, it is very good. And it's like, you're going to remember some stuff that you didn't even think you would be able to remember, let alone find interesting. So it's both. It's interesting and it's memorable. So grab your copy of that book today. You don't have to be a genius to read it, understand it, and remember it. But you're going to look like a genius when you start talking about everything that you learned from reading that book. I'm just saying that's the level of understanding that book provides. And it's only $18. I told him, I was like, that's really affordable for the amount of money that was invested in making the book. You have to invest a lot in order to bring what he's bringing in that book. So y'all grab a copy of that book before the price goes up. Now, I'm not saying before he gets to his senses and raises the price. I'm saying if you watch the show in business, supply and demand dictate how much money something's going to cost. So you get your copy right away. Don't wait. Don't wait. Do not delay. Anyway, I wanted to talk about something that I was writing on social media on Facebook. I wrote about Adam and Eve. Now, I wanted to talk about Eve because it was a lot of talk um, about Eve so many times throughout history, and Eve is the first woman, and it's History Month. Let's talk about Eve. Eve was just one person. The Queen of Sheba, she was just one person, and they had a magnificent and profound impact on the world and the course of history. Now, they say just one person, what difference can one person make? What difference is one? One is the loneliest number. Now, whoever said that is the original liar because God is only one. And look at what that's doing. So you can't say that one is not enough because one, from what history has shown, is really changing the course of humanity, not just the way things are developing, uh, period. I mean, it's just I can't even I can't even talk today. But a lot of people belittle women to the point where it makes them say, "I don't want to say nothing. Don't I don't want to be a part of nothing. I don't want to just don't even mention my name." And I can understand that. I can totally feel that. There's the website for that book. And yes, it's totally worth your time. And make sure you keep a copy and keep your phone handy so you can always revert back to it. Hey, Jackie, I appreciate you, sis. I have something for you. I've been waiting for you. I'm not gonna give, but I told you I was like, you come back, we're gonna do a show the way you do the show. I'm gonna do a hair wrap, and it's gonna have a matching what you call it, mask and earrings. Okay, girl, I'm ready. I'm waiting. Okay, I'm waiting for you. I got you. Okay, Eddie says, I'm glad you are enjoying the book, Eric. It makes me feel my exit. Okay, and it is, it's difficult when you are trying to, put something out there that can help people to understand things differently and understand more about what the imposter syndrome really is. Um, you'll read this book and you'll feel so much more confident about your understanding of things and the way you talk about things. I know, right, Jackie? Come on now. I got you. This Women's Month. You got an open invitation, babe. Come on now. Okay, but give me a minute so I can throw on my matching hair wrap and mouthpiece, and the earrings too. I got you. I got you. Give me a heads up. So anyway, I wrote on Facebook. I said it's Women's Month. Women, it's written, we are men's help meet. That was the assignment God gave. I'm just saying, if you read the book of Genesis in the Bible, that is the assignment that God gave. But let me get back to what I said on here. We're got man's help meet. There was no marriage, just an adroit living assignment. Before woman, man carried the burden of the world alone. When man left, women to once again take on the world despite her presence, man and woman were truly divided and failed. That's the takeaway of the Adam and Eve's origin story. The narrative's been twisted for far too long with all these distractions and labels of normatives used to justify continued division. Women, we birth every nation by our womb or our hearts. Otherwise, there will be no new life. Yet, We watch as our babies are put 6 feet deep instead of walking by our sides. We're not the helpmeet of corpses walking or covered by the earth, especially when we're united in love and in God. We have one label, helpmeet. We have an assignment, aid what's right. Returning to the days of old means remembering this. So rise up. God gave us an assignment. There's a lot of us now, so nothing is standing in our way of completing this assignment with the little time that we have left, so we can improve. And as we do, it'll help improve mental health, and we can see that mental health is, in fact, physical wealth. So let's go. Let's get into it. I want to go ahead and dive into that topic. The name of wife means woman. We have affixed it to Mary. You know, Adam, he was the head, right? Eve was given an assignment from the creation. It said that God calls us from the womb. So he give us an assignment in the womb. That you can't get no more of a private conversation than that amongst all the people around. You like literally in your mom and surrounded by whomever it is she's surrounded by. And God talking to you, giving you an assignment. So your assignment is not everybody's understanding, or everybody is not gonna just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I know this is what you were here to do, so let's go ahead and listen to you because this is what you expertise. No, that's not how that works. Then Eve means life. Eve was the vessel which new life came. Yes, and it's like people, they're not giving women enough voice in history at all for having birthed all of these nations. We did that, and now it's a ratio. The only time that men even think to consider the fact that all these men are going away is after the Civil War and the World War Ones and twos. They're saying, well, now it's a ratio of women to men, and it's like it's more women than men. Yet we're not running it, and mental health is increasingly a problem for the world. I mean, would a woman in charge have said, "Oh yes, storm the beaches of Norway or what Normandy and yeah, just throw bodies at the problem"? She wouldn't have did that because she birthed them babies. She carried them babies. She sees the world from a different perspective than men who are just dropping the seed and waiting for it to sprout up and do something to make him excited, bring him into the excitement. Women are already fully invested. They don't want to see that baby going to waste. They don't want to see that baby going out and even getting hurt, getting a scrape. Me, I know because I'm a woman. And it's been many women in history who have felt this way and expressed this very thing. I know it's probably not intended for Women's History Month to make such statements, obvious statements of how women have felt over the years, but it's a collective idea that binds us. That it is the fact that we don't want to be the helpmeet to corpses. We don't want to be the helpmeet to people that we gave birth to or we loved on from a baby all the way until the time where we saying farewell and putting earth on them. We don't want that. We want something that's better, but we're not talking about it enough. And Women's History Month is an awesome time to start talking about it. I need some water. She is a separate and unique vessel. Adam couldn't carry life. He planted his seed, and the vessel had to be able to carry his seed. Eve is historically, mentally, and biologically unique. Yeah, facts. That's true. And we don't give enough exaltation to what women are. And a lot of times women feel belittled. They feel like they're not heard. They feel like even though they may have told a man something, that man ain't listening. Even if that man says, well, I'll just throw her a bone. You think she don't know? You think she don't know you just threw her a bone and told her, oh yeah, woo, woo, woo. And that was the end. And then now you, in following, you feel like it makes you feel more dominant to constantly show your dominance over her, regardless of the way it makes her feel. That's not cool. And think about this. Did God Did God give you that help me for that reason? It doesn't matter if you're married to her. She's a helpmeet before she's ever a wife, because she was called so before she ever came out into existence. God said He saw that man needed help. He probably saw how y'all acting, and that was, one of the signals that said, "Hey, you need some help. Let me create this woman, and you can name her and and you can give her assignments, but I'm creating her to be your help meet, to help you make make things right." And what was he supposed to do? He was supposed to name all the things in the earth, tend to the earth, etc. Go read about him. We talking about Eve. What you say, Jesse? Greetings. Just show us some love. Hey, I feel you. I'm talking about it though. Stay tuned. Because a lot of times men don't know, and they, even if you tell them, they still can't see it. A lot of times the people who are telling these people who refuse to see what you're saying, they're not being told by someone who has the level of education, the knowledge God given from them growing what's in them to reach that person mentally and physically, as well as emotionally and financially. So we have to use what God gave us to help them to see that this is the reason why we're here. This is why we're your help meet, not behind you, not under you, or not just under you. Hey, I'm just saying, we're here for it. We're here for it. But it's not to say that women are beneath a man as far as his rank. A good man a good man realizes that that helpmeet is actually his strength and making him stronger, and they feeding back and forth on each other to the point where they rising higher and higher. And it's not enough examples out here that's showing people that. It's not enough, and it's mostly because a lot of women are hurt, and they're not going to say anything like they need to get you to understand, because they want to bury that hurt, because you don't know how to comfort them, how to give them the meaning that they need, how to help it to not hurt so bad. And it's a lot of times because men can't experience this life the way women do. It's historically understood that men cannot experience this life the way women do, even if you go and cut parts off and try it that way. What's his name? Thank you, Mr. Haynes. I really appreciate you being here. I love me some Phil. Bobby, that's all we look for, a helpmate, not a headache. You know what? Let me show you what's a headache. A man who don't know how to lead, because you as a man, you got to tell that help meet what you need help with. Historically, women have bent over backwards trying to help men. They have this dream, or they lie and they say they do, and the woman is trying to help him do this dream, achieve these goals, and he get friend zoned, and he don't know why he get friend zoned, because she saw you're not living up to what you saying. You're not doing what you saying. A woman don't have to tell a man to be a man. A woman don't have to tell a man, look, you want me, come get me, grab me, get my attention, show me who you are, stand out and be the man. A help me can't help you, and you're not doing anything that requires help. She needs to know where you're going with things, what kind of ideas you have. Well, what are you realistic in your expectations for the materials that you have? Okay, can we build what you want out of the raw materials that we're working with, or that we can find and get our hands on? So it's not to say that we need to. Okay, let me put it this way: we need to stop blaming one another for us having a headache, and we need to understand why we have a headache. Yeah, none of us know better. Adam and Eve were born, in a situation where they didn't know any better, and the tree of knowledge was in the middle of it. So we saw that knowledge and existence is two totally separate entities, and you have to grow and develop into these things, and the devil played on that. And that was one of the tricks that led Eve into helping Adam in the wrong way. She wasn't necessarily helping Adam, more so that she saw this male snake. I don't know, but that's the way I see it. She she like, oh, well, I'm listening to Adam. He's a man. I'm listening to this snake. He's a man. So you can't confuse your helpmate. I'm just saying, they don't know no more than you do. So don't point fingers thinking they know more than you because they're supposed to be your helpmate. You're supposed to be the head. How about that? Don't think women are too passive. In my book, I speak about how Queen Americus of Nubia led a military campaign against Roman forces, one of the greatest militaries of all time, pushing them out of Nubia and forcing them into negotiation, a peace treaty. Well, gotta read that book. It's only $18. You're not losing anything. Let's never underestimate the power and ability of a woman. I know, right? I was reading the part of the book of Genesis where it was talking about how Eve ate the apple the snake gave her, knowing that it's from the tree of knowledge and they weren't supposed to, and how she bit it and then gave it to Adam, and it's written in a way that makes it appear as though Adam was right there in the presence when the snake came over and started to sway Eve. Like, you the head. How are you letting somebody else sway the helpmeet that was meant for you? Now we following that same story time and time again into an endless demise that is like we're killing humanity by following and perpetuating such foolery, and nobody's saying anything about it. I'm here for it. I'm gonna say something because it's a lot of time and money to be invested in mental health. And this is one of the parts of that. We need to stop following foolery. It's life from two different perspectives and understanding that its existence. I think life is easier that way. We may not agree, but I understand. And you know what, sis? Man, you summed it up. I mean, we can end that. We can end like right there on it. It's not about us agreeing or disagreeing. It's about us being understanding. I don't know. And if I don't know and I'm telling you I don't know, correct me. If you care, correct me. If you want to do better, correct me. Don't just sit there and watch me be wrong and just shake your head and walk away and laugh and point and say crazy things because somebody's going to be crazy enough to follow me. Somebody's going to be crazy enough to listen to me. Then what we going to be? We got half the world or all the world listening to gaslighting and following gaslighting other people, and we're watching a global economy fail. Why did I say that? Oftentimes we're looking at the studies. I'm showing you studies of people who have altered the the studies in order for it to appear as though something that is not. And it's like, did you get that from reading that? Guess what? A lot of the people who have the finances to invest in the way things are trying to be, manipulated to go in that direction. That's why it's being written the way it is, because they want the money to do this particular thing. They don't know because they didn't read it. They're not reading it. They're just telling it, oh, this is why we're doing it. This is why we're investing the money here. Okay, let's go ahead and invest the money here. No, get Eddie's book. Read the sources if you want to. And I think those sources are very informative. And it's not that you're just picking out one part of it. Anytime I look at a Bible or something and somebody says a script, I don't just read that one line. I don't just read that one chapter. I read the whole thing so that I can remember and I can say, you know what? I see what you did there. That was quite clever. You twisted that. It was almost believable, but I understand better. But I understand your perspective too. We need different perspectives though. It makes life more entertaining. Eve was a perfect design, a naked, sweet smelling, beautiful Eve that has Adam a physical and emotional pleasure he didn't know before was an effective. But you know what? It's a lot of times we don't know what we got until somebody points it out to us. I know, I get it. And it's like we're learning and we don't give each other enough credit for just learning. We're all learning. We don't know. And even the things that we do learn, we still don't know stuff about the things that we learn. Hey, Pastor Sir, nice to see you here. Please stay tuned and correct me if I'm wrong. I'll appreciate it. Oh, he knew. Yes, Adam knew. Adam did know, but we talking about Eve, and we talking about the fact that he was standing there when the snake beguiled her into eating this apple. Why didn't he say anything? Why didn't he stop her? Why didn't he debate? Why did he allow the snake in his kingdom in their space? Man, now we're gonna get to talking about churches of today. How these people are blaming the followers when it's like, why did you allow that in your space? I'm not going to go there, but the matter of the fact is, you cannot confuse your helpmeet. And women are the helpmeet. That is the assignment. That is the name. That was their label. And the assignment that was attached to that label was to help make things right according to what God wanted. So a good woman, she can't watch her mate do things that's outside of the will of God. And that's why you don't have a whole bunch of men with a helpmeet. You have some men out here with a side piece or some chick that they probably gonna get rid of because it's not prosperous for every aspect of his growth. So he gets rid of her after a while. And it's like, oh, you can't keep her. You can't make her a housewife. He had all those kids with her. She was, yeah, she was a great value, and we're still benefiting from it even today. It's something that you can never take away, and you can never not give her credit for what she did. She didn't even have a doctor. You know, she was committed to the assignment before he ever put a ring on it. You know what they say? Put a ring on it. If you, what did it say, Jackie? Absolutely. Peace be still. Yes. Peace be still. You have to have a focus. You have to maintain that focus. Then you can't blame her if she say, well, I don't really know what he's trying to do. He not saying nothing, but he listening to the snake just like I'm listening to the snake, and everybody waiting for me to make the decision. All right, I'm going to listen to the one that look like he know it. Because this one over here, Adam, he don't look like he understand that assignment. He don't understand what he was told, and he not knocking the apple away. He not, beating this dude down verbally and telling him, look, go on, flee. And it's written in the word only because it's true, and it's always been true, that if you tell the devil to flee, that he has to go. So he had the power to tell him. He already knew you. I named you. You here under me. So how is it that at any point in time we listening to you? So I'm gonna get back to these churches and how these churches is doing, and we seeing where it's coming from. What do you say? The Bible said she was deceived, but Adam wasn't. You're right. He knew. Yeah, he knew he did wrong knowingly, and that's a whole nother thing. Because how could Eve, first woman, have the assignment knowing what she know that she's supposed to do, and then follow Adam being wrong? Now both of them wrong because you help me and you know what your assignment is, and y'all assignment are two different assignments. You have two different assignments. Now, if I'm doing the wrong thing in my part of the assignment, you as the head should correct me as the helpmeet. I'm saying too much. There is no specific blame. The deception affected both. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about blame since we want to go there. I'm going to blame this whole conversation on the fact that we're talking about Eve. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not talking negatively about anything. I'm not down in marriages. I'm just saying we had an assignment that we were called from the womb. And since this is Women's History Month, I'm going to talk about the first woman. That you're supposed to keep each other. Yeah, we're supposed to keep each other. But you know what? Eve was given a label. Help meet. What was entailed in that? Help Adam meet the requirements that God gave him. And what were the requirements God gave him? That's why it's written in the book from the start. So we all know what his assignment was. So we all understand what our assignment is as a help meet. So from there, you can pick out who you want to blame or whatever. But I'm going to show you something else. It's like this. If we can't acknowledge our shortfalls, if we can't acknowledge what we're going wrong, if we fail to keep disavowing the fact that, oh, you know what? I have to do this. This is what I have to do. Let me stay focused on what I have to do and not be swayed by any means, by any stretch. Let me do that. So I'm going to say, I'm going to stay focused on what Eve's assignment was and what her label was, so I can further explain what to women what our assignment is. Now, the reason why I spoke about that is because Eve, they say Adam didn't have a burden because God took care of them. But let me tell you, the dictionary says that burden means load. It means something that you carry. So think about it from this perspective. Adam just came to existence, and God was like, "Hey, Adam, this is what I want you to do." Now, even though it seems simple to us, because we've been here a while, but birth your baby. I had children. They came out walking. Okay, they were so big, and they all crippled me. All four of them. Every time I pushed one out, I couldn't walk at all. Okay, that's how big they were. So when I can imagine it a little bit better because that's the way my kids were born. Like, hey, now I'm gonna tell my child, hey, and I'm telling them something simple. Only pee pee poo poo in the toilet. He can't even do that. But that is his burden to bear. That is what he has to do. And he's going to have to be creative and do that and learn and grow. And it takes time. And I think God was being patient with them. And some people say, well, some atheist friends, they be like, well, God knew what he was going to do. Why didn't God? Yes, we know. We know the baby ain't gonna go poo poo pee pee in the toilet. We know it's gonna take some time, but we give that understanding. We give that directive straight away so that they already understand, and we understand they're gonna make some mistakes along the way, and it's okay because love covers a multitude of sins. And didn't assume, Adam didn't assume his position as the one in charge, leaving the voice of the stranger to speak in her. Yeah, I didn't. I'm not saying that he left the snake to speak in his stead. I'm saying from what I read. Now you the pastor, so correct me if I'm wrong. So you have three beings in one space. You have Adam, Eve, and the snake. The snake tells Eve, eat of this apple you see is good. I think at the same time he really talking to Eve, he's really talking to both of them, but Eve is giving him ear. And Adam is in the midst, listening instead of rebuking, listening instead of reproaching, listening instead of telling him to flee and resisting him, and doing what's necessary to tell him no. God said no, and that's the bottom line. Peace be still. The end. This is what we doing. Ain't no discussion. So I'm not saying Adam is, literally physically leaving. You've ever been in a situation where somebody is talking to you, but they talking to you indirectly. They talking to you through your kid because your kid is the one who gave ear. Your kid is the one who gave time, and that person who was talking to them knew that your child was gonna come back to you and tell you what that person said, but otherwise you would have never heard what that person said. I think that was kind of like, the most common way to look at what happened there. We are helpers for each other, however, partnership. Yeah, and it's like I'm not saying the blame as in to berate or put anyone down, demean anybody, but if we do not acknowledge these things, how can we ever grow? And I don't know. For example, when Eve and them, I'm gonna have to go deep into the word. I'm not a Bible scholar, but from my understanding, how Eve and Adam tried to explain to God, why they were dressed, and it was like, well, now I know, and it's like learning better and doing better are two separate entities. You have to gradually learn better in order to do better. So one requires the other. That means that they're separate. And obtaining those two things is a whole nother thing. God gives us knowledge and information. Then he has to also give us wisdom, the ability to apply the information and the knowledge in the appropriate way. What you say, Pastor Sarton? The serpent took advantage of their desire to be like God. he took advantage of their desire in heaven too. But that was a common thing. And because we did not know how common that was, because we don't talk about it. We're not talking about it enough. We're not acknowledging it enough. We're not dwelling on that. We're dwelling on, why did Adam and Eve have a belly button? Like, wait a minute. There's a far more intelligent but stupid question to ask, such as, why did Adam just let the serpent talk to his girl like that? You know what I'm saying? That's more of a stupid but kind of smart question that we could be more focused on, instead of, focusing on, really petty stuff. I mean, like belly buttons. Come on. We didn't know what God saw, but we know He saw man should not be alone. Adam, however, failed at its purpose. You know what? It's a good point. We don't know. God did not elucidate, and it's probably because we wouldn't understand it anyway. But from the common things that we see as of now, we can definitely understand that what God might have saw why is not good for man to be alone, because we see how these wars are coming about. There's no help meet on these men's side when they sitting there saying, yeah, let's throw bodies at the beach of Normandy, and let's tsunami and Kawasaki and all that. This is not a woman in sight that's saying, yeah. So a man's mind doesn't work the way it does when he has a helpmeet on his side that he's listening to. So I think that was pretty much the basics that I was pulling at from that. I think we must love Eve because she took the reaping and took the pain that came from childbirth to populate the earth. She had choice and could have ended herself. Woo, we gonna leave that one alone, because I think that people didn't evolve to think like that, or have such an understanding or wayward understanding of life until later on. And again, I think that that's a wayward understanding, because you're not really ending anything. You're beginning an eternal life, and they knew what the eternal options were. So yeah, when it's not mythical, when it's not, it's a 50-50 chance, or because you're not Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal, Kojic, you're not, Hindu or whatever. So whatever the faith is, you thinking, it might or might not be. But you literally looking at God Himself. You literally hearing God. There was a time of Pangea when the earth was one land, and then there was just water. So you had just the two bits and nothing in between. God was walking the earth, and it's like, I'm literally looking at God. I might not obey the fact that He told me not to eat this apple, but I'm definitely going to obey the fact that He wants me to breathe. I'm just saying. Not breathing wasn't an option. Tony, thank you for coming. Let me see. I am not sure about advantage. He manipulated and twisted the word. Eve had to be fine. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, the power of women's perception. I'm just gonna say persuasive, I guess. I don't know. Just that one time. Wow, that's something else. That's some power right there. Hey, Pastor, sorry. I'm just saying, once the serpent caused them to question the integrity of God's word, it was easier to push the envelope. But notice He let her take a bite to see what would happen to her. I know, right? He wasn't too stupid. He wasn't slow. He wasn't that slow. So really, I think in the word when it says that, and they saw that it did not kill them. I'm not quoting, but when it saw it didn't kill them, that's when it gives us the understanding that the serpent was really talking to Adam, and Eve was just the person who was given ear and the ability for them to communicate. So it was a third party situation where Adam was talking to Eve and the serpent was talking to Eve, and both of them are really communicating with each other through a middleman. So when Adam saw that Eve ate of the apple and she didn't die, he was like, oh, okay. But he didn't understand what was meant by the word. And there's so many times we don't understand definitions because it has many interpretations. So we've seen that. A lot of scholars have fought over those things. I just sit back and watch because I like to see that. That's my entertainment. All these smart people sitting back talking to each other. It's it's just funny. It's the same word. Just pick the understanding that you understood. That's the basics English. Okay, I'm just messing. But anyway, little folks still made bad decisions based on a man's desire for a woman. God made a woman a good thing. Wars have been fought over. Yeah, but again, we're sticking to Eve because we're talking about Eve. Is Women's Month, so we're going to focus on Eve. Eve made a decision because it did not seem as though she was going against the head, who she was there to help as the help meet. Because these two guys both talking, and they both confusing probably the crap out of this newborn. She was newly born. She just got here. Y'all confusing the crap out of her, and y'all not thinking about y'all pulling her in different directions. It's like, God dang. And we see that even today, how women are being pulled and tugged in different directions, and you are sitting there not understanding her perspective because y'all sitting there back and forth with each other. Two men keep on arguing with each other and debating with each other. Focus on your help meet. Focus on the fact that this woman, it don't matter her culture, doesn't matter how beautiful you think she is or how powerful her persuasion is. The matter is that woman was there for your help meet, and you are confusing the crap out of her. I'm just saying. As far as historically, women are seeing how they're supposed to be your help meet by your side, and you got them on the back burner somewhere, and you come to them when you're broken. And it's like, man, I think I'm worth having you here before you are broken. And then I restore you, and you go back out there, you return again broken. But what did you say, Pastor Sarton? Her job is to be his strength in areas he's weak. And it's like, how can you help somebody in their weakness when they fail to even acknowledge that this is the aspect where I'm weak? You're right, Eve. I should have told him to leave. I should have told him this not no threesome. I should have told him we supposed to cleave together because this is what I said. And it didn't come until after I made that proclamation. Don't get me wrong, I don't know, but I think that the division didn't come until after Adam said the assignment in which the matter in which he's supposed to have her there to help him. He said that we're supposed to leave our mother and father and cleave husband and wife and be one. But so the devil knew, the serpent knew that even though me talking to Eve, I'm really talking to Adam. So, but he can hear me through her. So I'm going to talk this way. And then once I get Eve to do it, he going to follow. His position was not to follow Eve. But women don't get credit they should for carrying the strength they possess. Remember, God gave them both dominion. Yes, you are so right. God did give both of them dominion. And because he also gave Eve a place for Adam to rest, yeah, it made it all the more sweeter, didn't it? More persuasive, I guess. I would tell you that they understood enough because they understood death, nakedness, etc. Let's not make them foolish because God don't make foolery. No, I'm not saying they foolish. I'm saying as far as them being young and having room for error. Okay, I'm going to shut up. No, this is an interactive program. I want you to say some things back. I just have historical perspective. And I appreciate the historical perspective because unless we have different perspectives, we can't grow. We can't keep going. We it's somewhere we're trying to get, but we're trying to get that together. And diversity is necessary. It's not just about sexual, it's about diversity in the way you think, in the creativity that you bring, everything that you have to offer. It is not just about, I'm perfect in this way. And then come to find, I test you and see you're not perfect in any way. She cooking right now. Okay, Pastor, I know it's like these comments is coming in. I got to catch up. However, I will say none is without fault. They both accept judgment. They ain't got a choice accepting judgment. That's the bottom line. We all going to be judged, and that's why we can't be confused about what we're supposed to do. Our assignments have been confused and twisted, and it's like it's mentally destroying us long before it ever financially and physically destroys us. And that's something we have to give ear to because it's Women's Month. This is our time to tell you, hey, I understand the impact of the things that's happening and the monetary association with these things. Hey, Sister Gloria, Adam didn't have Eve's back. You know what? I have to give it to her right there. Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Listen, let me tell you something about a helpmeet. A good woman wants the support of her head, of the spearhead, or whatever you want to call yourself. She'll call you king. She'll call you uh, Pharaoh, whatever. She'll call you Lord. She'll call you. She gonna motivate you to be what you gotta be, but you got to have her back. Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Tell it. I'm just saying, you got to have your woman's back, and that confused the crap out of Eve in my perspective. From when I read it, I'm looking like, man, I put myself in her position, like, man, these two guys really, I don't know who to listen to. And God Himself did not speak to Eve; He spoke to Adam. So there that is. If he'd have spoke to a woman and told woman, no, don't eat that tree. She said Adam told her this ain't what we supposed to do. But now the snake telling her, so she don't know which head to listen to because both of them men. I'm just saying she was new. She was new. I agree, Pastor Sarn. I do too. I'm loving these comments. Most men will never acknowledge their weakness because it gives them a sense of inferiority, and they never want to feel weak, especially in front of their bride. You know what? I was watching Jesse's show. He came on earlier and he was in the comments, and he was saying how he doesn't. There's certain he had two other guests on his show, and they were talking about their relationship and how they don't allow their mates to see certain things about their lives. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care what Eddie see, and vice versa. I'm seeing everything, and I have the free will to accept. See, Adam saw Eve listening to this dude, listening to the serpent. He saw it, and he accepted her anyway and accepted what she had to offer, even though he knew it was wrong. And she saw that was a weakness in him. She didn't leave him, and he didn't think about leaving her. They could have been like, deuces, you're going to have to find another way to repopulate this earth because I'm not fooling with her or I'm not fooling with him. But they accepted it. So I understand what you're saying, Pastor Sarn, when you're saying that men don't want to be that vulnerable. But I've seen it, and I've seen it work in their favor. And it's like we have an understanding. A good woman has an understanding that a man he learning too. He learning just like we are. What you say, Eddie? You done? Oh, here you go again. Okay. Pastor Sarah, we're not going to take y'all man card. I know this is definitely not to bash any men. This is to tell you men that we need more than a month. We need more than your ear for a moment. We need more than just you telling us or expecting us to have, an understanding when you don't give us the understanding. You said that I'm saying, you said that Eve, we women, we're not supposed to eat this apple, but you let us eat it. You watched us eat it. You let this dude, this other guy, persuade us. You let him talk up into your house. You let him tell us what to do because I'm your helpmeet. You let him tell me like I'm his helpmeet. I'm here for you. Bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh. This is why, and I'm not saying that, Adam was stupid. I'm not saying that, but didn't God kind of imply that he needs a little extra understanding to realize that, look, this is flesh of your flesh. This is bone of your bone. I ripped out a rib so you would understand that Eve will be the first woman and she is your help meet. And every woman like her will be help meet to the man. This is what you all have to understand, but you didn't understand that, did you? Even though he took a whole rib and took it from your side, you still got her thrown away to the side, thrown to the wayside. belittle her, stifle her, don't listen to her. And bring up all the excuses as to why you don't listen to her. Oh, I'm mad because she friend zoned me. Come on now, you deserved it. Stand up, recognize your weaknesses, come correct. That's all. It's that easy, and we will accept you because a woman can't help being a woman. She gonna listen to a man being a man. I'm just saying. Again, Eve had to find, but she had to be fine. But because she was the first woman, so it was like you ain't seen nothing else like this. So it's gonna be appealing no matter what. I mean, she got curves, and you've never seen these curves. She's got stuff going on, and you've never seen this before. And then you get to feel something that this woman does. Now, I'm going to have to get into that. I know, right, Pastor Sarn, is getting juicy. But I'm about to get a little juicier because I have to explain this part of Eve. We have trust to accept what we did wrong. Judgment can be worse when you lie and deny. Hey, Regina, I appreciate you being here. I'm going to try to get through these comments right quick. She was still out of order. Hey, I'm not saying that a help meet can't be out of order, but I am saying we need to acknowledge there needs to be a great deal of acknowledgement. Enjoy this. I also love tonight, so gotta get. I know. Go ahead. I know your show is next. That is the point I made that disagree. Okay. Let me see if I can get to these comments. I think most men aren't willing to be transparent because of their past history of being ridiculed when they were transparent. I feel you, and women feel the same way. It's a different type of abuse, but it's still abuse. Y'all need to make it plain. You still choose to give ear to someone else. I will own my part. Y'all own y'all stuff. Yep, and I'm gonna say it. I owned it. We confused. We need to know who we listening to. We listening to you, and we all naked. All right. Now this snake, we all naked, right? This snake, he outshining you, and you may be a little intimidated by that because he a whole snake, and you man and something. So maybe that's why he didn't feel. Because think about this. I'm gonna have to say, God made a woman to please a man, and there's something about her persuasion. I'm gonna put it that way, where when a man enters into her persuasion, it's massaging and it's contoured to his body in the manner that is ministering to him in such a way that he can't take it. 3 seconds, 15 seconds, and he's done with the persuasion of that situation. I'm just saying. So it's not just that, I think that made him feel a little intimidated because he feels vulnerable and he can't function in the way that he needs to in that moment, and he needs room to grow and develop and mature. And I think that's what God gave them because, yeah, both these guys talking to the same woman confused her, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe not. But I didn't see it say that Eve did knowingly. Okay, some men are afraid to show humility. Everything is hardcore. Yep, but help me. Will take them. It's okay. Pieces. You know what, Jackie? You speaking it, girl. You doing stuff. You got to come back because yeah, you're right. Us women can say these things about men because we hear them in their most vulnerable, intimate moments. And I'm not talking about sex. Intimacy is something when you speaking from your heart to someone who is in your heart, someone who's protecting your heart. And that's really what a helpmeet does. She is protecting your heart just like your ribs would normally do if it was attached to your body still instead of in ours. Adam got them evicted because he cowered down and obeying God. You know what? That is a good perspective to have because, yeah, as a head, a woman didn't have the power and dominion over the head. Come on now, let's think about this a little bit more clearly. Thank you, Oh, excuse me, got burped. Sister Regina says Adam blamed Eve when God asked. Sure did. You did. You. I didn't want to point fingers, but you know what? You right, sis. You're right. There was a blame game going on there, but I'm sure God looked at it. In my opinion, from what I read and what I gathered, God was like, "You the head. I can't even hear you telling me how someone you supposed to be head of did anything at all, period, other than listen to you when I gave you directly directives as to what to do. And I put it in your heart and gave you the knowledge without you eating that apple. I gave you the wisdom without you eating that apple. Now we're about to get into education and how knowledge is really given and understood and encoded and then used, implemented. Don't get me started because I'm telling you, this show is almost over. We don't have that kind of time today. I'm sure Eve was looking better than, you know what? Baboons had it out there, didn't they? And he was probably like, look here. Now, this chick, she coming in. She bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Woo! And then you experience her. And it's like, man, God, you outdid yourself this time. You can continue on my show. Hey, I'll be more than happy to come on. Just send me the link and we'll continue this discussion. As long as you cool, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to, I know this is a sensitive topic and I don't mean to, trigger folks or get people mad or anything, but I have a tendency to say some things sometimes. So that's what Eddie say. That's what my oldest cousin says too. He's like, you always getting under somebody's skin. It's not on it's not on purpose. I'm just saying. It's just it is what it is. Hey, since I'm here, I'm just listening. I said, what's being shared. Hey, sis, you gonna make sure you watch the whole episode. I know I made some boo boos, but Pastor Sarton is definitely here kicking in. They were covered by God's glory and didn't know they were naked at the time. Yeah, you're right. And then when they ate that apple, they had some knowledge of some stuff then. It breaks him down. Yeah. Come on, I say that. This has been a really great show. I've really enjoyed the interactions with you all, especially in the comments, Pastor Sarton. I really appreciate you being here. I know you are a busy man, but whenever you're ready to talk about stuff on the show, please feel free to come in. I don't want to be wrong, and I don't do, okay, I'm going to be controversial to be entertaining. These are my perspectives. I'm not a Bible scholar. My expertise is in a wide range of different things, and it's like a master of some, but not. I don't know. I forgot the way they put that, but I like different things because different things keep my attention, and I keep it revolving. So I'm still always learning about everything, but mostly the thing that I've really been focused on all my life is phenomena. Phenomenons are the things that we don't even expect, and it happened, and we're like, how did that happen? What did we do to cause this? And wow, we got to try to recreate that, and we cannot recreate it because God did some things that were phenomenal. Can you imagine? We still haven't figured out the whole brain thing. We still haven't figured out the woman's womb thing. We ain't figured out the woman's persuasion thing, if you know what I mean. We can't recreate that. They have these toys that try to recreate it for a man, but it's something going on that a whole lot of people don't understand. Ain't that right, Eric? A jack of all trades, master of none. There you go. Thank you, Eric. See, he love me. He don't say it enough, but he do. I love Eric too. But yeah, some things that, they don't understand because they haven't tried it. And unless you try it's like God made something particularly special just for your what? For your member, for your nature. He made something particularly catering to your member. He probably saw the wind blow too hard and Adam got excited. And then he was like, it's not good for man to be alone. Let me create something that's going to cater to that. Because it's so phenomenal what that does that it's like it can't be recreated. Oh my goodness, God doing some things. He catering to all kind of needs. Okay, Eddie says my points were the same, but it seemed you thought I was. No, I appreciate your comments, and I appreciate this perspective and the way you mentioned those because, like I said, men and women have different perspectives and they have different ways of saying things. And though you may be saying the same thing I'm saying, and I'm saying the same thing you saying, the points are being made, and it's getting across to the people that need to get across to. That's the only thing. Yes, please like, subscribe, and share, and follow because I do start these conversations on Facebook. So look for Tina Phillips on Facebook. You'll see my name. I mean, you'll see my face. You are too funny. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I try to curve things, so I'm not saying things gonna get my coattail pulled on the side. Like, now, Tina, you know you shouldn't have said it that way. I'm like, I tried to say it the other way, and people were confused about what I was saying. So I like to be blunt and say things in a manner in which people can understand. And what's the most global understanding that everybody can understand, regardless of their dialect, regardless of their speech impediments or speech, whatever, translations, interpretations, they understand orgasms and sex. I'm just saying. So I try to tell people things in a way that they can understand universally. So we all on the same page. The wind blew. I know, right? I know. That's the end of my show. Hey, we know the wind, it has a little power to it, and men are the only one that can feel it like that. 'Cause they just hanging out there. He was naked. I mean, so when God said, look at this, don't look at that baboon, look at this, Adam was like, what? Word. I got you, God. Good looking out. Get the book. Yes, get the book. Support the network. Make sure you are contributing financially, showing financial interest in hearing more topics, and even showing some interest in if you want to be on the show. You will grow from the book. Yes, you will grow from the book. I would love for Eddie to do a show where he's grabbing people and asking people to come on the show and tell them what they got from the book, so that common people, common everyday people. This is who we talking to. Why? Because this is who we are. We're not sitting on some pedestal waiting to fall. I'm just saying. You try to keep it clean and not X-rated. I try. I don't know. It ain't after 5 yet, but I'm about to see what Tony's talking about. I love it. Great show. Thank you, Pastor Starton. It's off of y'all. It's off of y'all. This was a great show. Thank you, Phil. Thank you. I was trying to get the man up, all 3 of y'all on here, so we could do stuff like this. Because, yeah, I do need that little back and forth, and I do want to, get into it. But it's kind of like hard to get into it because I was reading. I was on there reading from the phone, and I'm like, Eddie's like, stop reading. I'm like, I gotta read. I didn't even hit all the stuff that I had written down. Enjoy the show. Thank you, Phyllis. Yeah, just I tried to hit all the topics. I'm probably gonna have to come back on this. I got a whole 30 days. I think, is it 30 or 31? Yeah, 31 days to talk about it and drag it out. So we'll get to the nitty gritty of it. But I appreciate everybody who showed interest and commented, and I appreciate your viewership and watching the videos after it's been recorded. Please remember, mental health is physical wealth. Mental health is physical.